Good morning everybody, and once again welcome to the video. This video I'll be sharing you how I developed a scraper that essentially scraped 20 million reviews of universities and colleges in United States. So every single college, that is Stanford, Harvard, University of Bridgeport, Texas, I wanted to scrape all the reviews and store it on my S3. The reason I wanted to do that is I wanted to perform some amazing visualization. For example, okay, based on the review, I wanted to get the sentiment out of the text, and then I wanted to rank the universities based on the sentiment. Now, all this is only possible when you have data. Well, data is not accessible that freely, right? You have to scrape, you have to work for it. So, this is a demo on how I essentially developed it. So I went to a website called gradreport.com, right? And what I did is essentially every website follows a similar principle. You have a parent, right? So for example, your parent is where you have the HTML. This is your parent. This is called a loop element, right? So this is the loop element, right? Loop element 1, loop element 2. And inside that you have a scrape element, right? So I said, yeah, you know what? That's great now, but I also need to go over every single page. So we also want to make sure that we don't get blocked, right? So the way I did that is essentially the bot essentially goes to the website and it scrolls down very slowly. Okay. After it scrolled down, now it's gonna scrape all the data. Then it's gonna click on the next page. It's gonna again scrape the data, scroll down, right? And it's gonna keep doing that. Anytime it raises an exception, we means that we have received the end of the page. I'm using a tool called XPath Helper to essentially guide you along the way. So let's take a look at the bot. This is an entire 300 line of code that I have written, right, with Selenium. Essentially, everything is there, right? So here is my URL, my parent, my loop, my next page, my name, my review, and my text, right? So the first thing that I do, I'm not gonna go too detailed in the code, but I wanna show you a demo right here. So I set a loop for 100, and then I'm gonna keep on clicking, assuming anytime that element is not there, it's gonna raise an exception, which means I'm done with my pagination. So here you can see I'm executing these commands. These commands essentially are gonna scroll down. So remember, when you scroll down, you don't wanna do like a bot, like boop. No, you wanna scroll like a human. One. So I have a sleep, right? So essentially what I did, I'm essentially scrolling down, but with a sleep interval of 2 seconds. So essentially mimicking a human activity. Then for each one of them, then I scrape the item and I scroll down to the bottom page, and then I'm essentially doing the same thing. So let's see this in action, guys. I scraped about 20 million reviews so far for all universities and college, and as I said, data is the new oil these days, right? So hopefully you guys can see here, right? I'll scroll it down. So on my terminal window, you should be able to see these texts coming in shortly. Here you can see, right? That's amazing, right? Now it's gonna scroll down. It's gonna go to the next page. It's gonna get the name of the person when they reviewed this, when they gave the review. They're gonna get the text and also the degree for which they gave the review. And look at the magic, guys. Data is the new oil, as I said, right? So I can show you one of them. It's gonna keep scraping. So JSON formatter. Now I'm gonna put this into S3. Once I have it in the S3, I will load into Elasticsearch, and then I'll also perform sentiment and other amazing valuable insights on this data, right? So name, review date, major, and then that, right? I can also perform a clustering algorithm on this, which basically means that based on the text, I can generate labels, and now I can see, okay, so since I have the major, right, I want to categorize this, right? And then based on that, I can also generate a classification model that can predict essentially the type. For example, whether it's type 1, type 2, type 3. I can also now, say whether the sentiment was positive, negative, right? All these amazing value I can provide once I have data, which is why people keep saying data is the new oil, right? So now, as you can see, all the reviews, right? And it's still scraping. I was able to scrape 20 million reviews with this approach. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it. Once I have all this data, I'm gonna be doing amazing visualization, because as a full stack engineer, I have learned all the skills necessary, right? I know the art of data scraping. I can develop microservices, API, backend, front end. I can visualize this massive amount of big data on AWS using QuickSight. I can query this data using Athena. I'll be creating partitions on my data lake. All these stuff I can do because I I'm skilled, right? I have done all this work before. If I want to transform my data, I can transform it using GlueJob, right? I can do all these amazing things since I have the data. But as I said, the most important thing is to have access to the data, right? Thank you so much for watching, and look at this. This is phenomenal. Like, these are the number of reviews I have scraped from the website. I mean, it's absolutely insane, right? So yeah, I mean, that's data, right? Big data, right? So all the universities, it's scraping, and it's gonna be that, yeah. So thank you so much for watching. Hope you have enjoyed it, and I'll share some of the wonderful insights that I have done once I complete the project. Thank you so much, and I'll see you guys in the next video.